What's up, y'all?
Hey, fam.
Hello.
We have a special guest with us, as you can see. This is, tell them what your name is, mama.
My name is, I sound like I'm playing on TV for real, right? Okay. All right, let me get
Cut. What's up, y'all?
Hey, fam.
You gonna cut me off while I'm talking? I was trying to tell them what my name is. My name is Channing B. What's your name?
You didn't get that? The bird sound. Twinkle, twinkle.
Y'all are not going to tap me.
You outnumbered. It's 3-1.
Yep.
It's okay.
I don't know,
Pay
Shannon. It might
attention.
be 2-2.
Hey, y'all. I'm Channing.
And I
Why did it take you so long to say what your name is? Why it take you so long? Why
Okay.
say?
In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
What's up, y'all? I'm Channing.
And I'm Broderick.
We got a special guest. Tell them what your name is.
I'm Sandra. I'm they mama.
This is Broderick mama, my mama-in-law. We love her to death, and we wanted to record a video with her because we want to talk about gender norms in the home.
So let me get this precursor, okay?
Okay.
So on all of the last episodes, those of you all that have been watching, you shared how much you've enjoyed my flavorful vocabulary, and you also enjoyed the fact that I don't have a filter. Well,
The apple don't fall
the
too far
apple
from the
does
tree.
not fall too
Let's
far
just-
from the
Ooh,
tree.
You see what she did? She flushed a little pearls like, what? Who y'all talking about? We
Fam,
talking about Sandra K.
we are about to have
It's gonna
an
be a good
amazing
episode.
time.
Of course, you know that Broderick and I are married, and
Yes.
so in our home, things are a little different.
Yeah.
When you look at what it means to be married, a lot of people feel like the woman is supposed to be in the home. She's supposed to be
Barefoot and
cooking,
pregnant.
taking care of the kids, washing the clothes, all of that stuff, and the man is supposed to be the primary breadwinner. Well, we do things a little bit differently in our home. Just to give you all some background, I didn't grow up in a home where my mama was cooking all the time. So when I came into marriage, I was like, yeah, so I can do a little bit in the kitchen, but I'm no chef by any means.
Yeah.
And he was like, oh, well, that's cool because I love to cook. And so I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
okay. So Broderick is the main chef in our home. I don't do a lot of
And
cooking.
I cook.
He cooks down.
I
and
cook.
he enjoys it.
I cook.
So-
But the fact that I take on the role of being like the chef in our home is actually because of the way that I was married. So my mom
You were
and
married. The way you was married?
the way that I was raised, the way that I grew up. So my mom and my stepfather, they were married. Mom, you and Dad, y'all were together for
19 years.
19 years married, but 22.
Listen, you asked me to go way back though. All I can give you, what I can tell you, I can tell you the year. I started dealing with Willis C in 1990.
Boom. Okay. So from 1990 until 2008, they were together, and then my dad, he transitioned from complications with colon cancer and all that good stuff. But a lot of what I grew up around, it wasn't the typical gender norm of a home, right? So, Mom, what about you? I know that Papa and Grandma, they were together for 50, 60 plus years. But did they have that whole gender norm thing? Did you grow up around that in the home?
No,
the gender home?
it was straight up, which everybody that know us know that Dad was the power. Dad was the one that went to work, which he worked at the highway department, and Mom worked at the hospital in housekeeping.
Right.
So it was always Dad that had that. And so when Mama got off of work, she always came home and cooked. And we waited and set the table, whether she would put stuff on like the night before and let it cook or whatever, and we might have to come home from school and cook some cornbread and fry some chicken in order for us to be ready by the time Daddy got home.
Did y'all have to wait for him to eat first, and then she
Oh,
made his
hell
plate
no.
first? She made his plate first, and then
she
y'all
didn't make
ate.
now plate. What are you talking? No, who doing that? You making plate?
Some people they doing
make no
that.
plate.
Yeah,
I'm just saying, nobody makes
some
no plate.
people doing that. Like people are, they're saying, well. Some of the toxic things that some people shared with us was, well, I was taught that I'm supposed to fix my man plate. The man is supposed to eat first. He's supposed to.
My first husband, his mama tried to put that in my head, and I was like, "Ain't nothing wrong with his hand. He can go in there and fix his own plate." So I wasn't doing that.
But see, that's interesting because there was a time when I was fixing Roger's plate, and he was like, "No, I don't need that. I don't need that."
Yeah.
And I'm like,
I forgot about that.
I want to fix your plate. I want to feel like I'm doing something for you.
It turns into an argument.
I really don't. I don't need that. And so that's just what I was getting. And so I was like, I feel like for me to prove to him that I love him and I care about him, I need to fix his plate. And he was like, I don't need that. I don't need you to fix my plate.
But that's a lot of Southern culture foolishness too, where people would say, well, if you don't fix your man plate, or if your girl don't fix your plate, that she really don't love you and she's not gonna take care of you. And it's like, no. So today the gist of this conversation is to really challenge the toxicity of cultural norms. So y'all know how I do. I always try to give you like a general definition of what we believe general norms to be. So general norms are basically gender norms.
Gender.
Okay.
Gender norms are basically cisgendered perspectives that individuals attempt to live out. So cisgendered basically meaning that you identify according to the gender that you were born with, right? So I was born a male. I identify with being a man. I identify with the masculinity that comes with being a man. So in a gender normative relationship, it would be, well, I'm the primary breadwinner in my home. I don't wash dishes. I don't cook anything. I don't rear the kids. I just simply go to work. I bring the bacon home and that's it. Well, the female version of that gender norm would be, well, I don't necessarily work. My life is our children. My life is the marriage. My life is centered around making sure that my husband is accommodated, that my husband feels good. And this also shows up in the bedroom and having sex. So Jasmine Sullivan, she just released Hotels.
Okay.
And one of the monologues in there, one of the sisters were actually talking about how society expect women to be basically the fulfillment of men's sexuality and sexual desires, but women too are sexual beings. Right. So just as much as I want to achieve an orgasm or a moment of
I want one too.
Fam. So yeah, that's the jokes of our conversation.
These children got me out here talking about some sex chip. Yo,
you got something to say about that?
What you gotta say?
She said something. We need to let Ma listen to Hotels.
Yeah,
we need to let her listen to.
Listen,
tell us.
No, y'all keep on talking.
You go ahead on and lay out your law right here.
And as this conversation evolves, I put my time in it. Yeah,
got it. Okay. Go ahead, finish.
Yeah. All right. So that whenever you hear us say gender norms, that is essentially what we are talking about.
Now, are we saying that it's bad for the husband to be a breadwinner and the woman to, if they have had a conversation about what they want their home to look like, are we saying that it's bad for a woman to fix her man's plate, or it's bad for her to cook?
No, not at all.
Okay.
No, not at all. I think that it's a matter of expectation.
Right.
So if I came into this thing,
to expectations, and conversations about what are you expecting from me?
Yes.
Do you expect me to cook your meals all the time? Are you expecting me to wash your dirty drawers all this? Are you expecting me to do all this stuff? Having that conversation at the top of the relationship helps to put y'all on the same page. And if this man is expecting you to do all of that and you don't have that in you, then y'all can go ahead and part ways now. And y'all
or have the conversation. Have the conversation to say, hey, I can't
meet that expectation.
But this is what I can do.
Right.
So like in our home, as Shannon shares, she's not necessarily the chef. She doesn't necessarily cook, whatever. But I love her breakfast. Like her breakfast meals, them doggone waffles with the waffle iron and them slow cooked eggs, scrambled eggs with cheese that she make. Like I get angry when she be like, "Babe, you gonna cook breakfast?" No, you cook the breakfast. I'm tired, right?
He cook breakfast. He got orgasm.
He's got a little. She said she got a little orgasm off the breakfast.
Hold on, shut up.
I know what to do. I know, right?
He giving all the secrets away. Yeah, go on.
Just the breakfast.
Okay, I'm gonna be quiet.
I cooked him breakfast one morning. He was like, "Baby, I love you so much. Thank you so much."
It was the breakfast.
It's the breakfast.
It's the breakfast.
Listen.
Let him keep on talking. Okay. It's a breakfast.
You cook that man some good breakfast, you're going to find
And
out
he
he'll
don't eat
stand
breakfast.
up in it. And I don't eat breakfast.
Stand up in it. What? I'm finna come off the show. I'll catch it. Cause these kids have lost their mind. Okay, come on. I'm gonna say,
We got you feeling uncomfortable?
You know you can't make her feel uncomfortable. You know you can't. She over here acting because they don't know her, but we know.
So
I might have told too much along the way. I might have told you too much. But anyway.
So, question: what advice would you give to couples who are in a space where they are struggling with this whole gender normative piece? Where, for an example, the wife may be making more money than the husband. So, for an example, again, you are the nurse, and Dad, he was a factory worker. You always made more money than he did. But what advice would you give to the wife that's making more money than her husband? And for the husband that might not necessarily be on the same tier.
Wait,
Okay,
I want to ask something before you do that.
Okay. Okay.
Was there something that your father said to you when you were growing up that made you feel like I need to have my stuff together? I'm not going to depend on no man to do nothing for me. Was there something that you heard
in my
while
house,
you were growing up?
That was the way that it was. That was just the way. Okay, I didn't have any brothers. It's 6 of us. I'm number 5.
Okay.
And the way Dad raised us was he raised us as independent women. Mm-hmm. All of us was independent, and all of us worked. All of us did that thing. All of us was like that.
Got education.
So all of us was educated. So
you know how to change your own oil?
Oh yeah, he taught me how to do my oil, change a flat tire,
handle business at a bank.
handle business at a bank. I mean, my dad taught me all that. It was more or less Dad that did that. Mama kind of more or less was that one that washed clothes and cooked and all that.
So
I don't think that
like
she
a
had to
gender
be.
norm type
Right.
of home.
Yeah.
But you didn't have that in your own marriage.
Okay. Oh no. Before, okay, I think what really happened to me was that after my first divorce, that right there kind of let me realize, look, girl, go get this. This is on you. So I had to handle business like that. So when I met him, Willis, he was a quiet mannered person. So it didn't matter to him. Once I told him what I needed as far as my bill paying, and he shelled it out, that's all I wanted was just give me that and we okay and I'm fine. I can handle everything. All I needed you to do was whatever your bills was, give me my bill money, and that's how it was. I mean, and we didn't have no problems or no conflict with that. It was understood that light, gas, water, and the phones in the house was yours. Everything else, I got that. And
y'all had conversations about, having conversations about who pays for what in the house.
Yeah.
That's another conversation about expectations that you guys could have.
As being the one that made the most money in the relationship, that you lord that over him?
That's all I was just going to say. Now the deal is to that is you can't be petty because you make the most money.
Yeah. Right.
You can't ask him to give all of that and you sitting over here with this big pie.
Right.
And you got it like that. That's why I had the biggest of the bills, but the light, the gas, the water, and if I asked for some chump change, then that was that. He had that. So I knew that the mortgage, the car, or whatever, I knew that was me. So it was already understood that you just don't beat nobody down like that. If you love them enough, okay. When he came into the place, I was at a factory. That's why I met him at. He made a way for me to go to school and to get my nursing license.
I remember that.
He did that.
I remember that.
Yeah, he paid all the bills at the house while I was in nursing school.
Yeah.
So by me getting that, I probably never would have been able to do it without him.
Wow.
So even though I escalate up in that,
So
I never make him.
It was a partnership.
I didn't make him feel no type of way that now that I'm a nurse and I can do this and not. No, you cannot beat them down with that.
Yeah.
Right? You have to leave it right there, and it's okay.
Yeah.
So that's the thing that it is with you making more money than they make. Do not try to make that man feel like he's less of a man. He's truly still that man.
Right.
It's just the fact that you just might have chose to escalate. You chose him as well. He came into that. You knew that he was a dust bucket, if that's what you want to call him. And you knew that you had this college degree. If you done met a dust bucket and you done fell in love with that dust bucket, you have to leave it just at that and keep right on the way that it is that you loving him and he ain't making it like that. Now, if
and vice versa.
And vice versa, yes.
If you know without a doubt that you are the one that makes the most money in the marriage, and your girl, she really ain't got it together, like, fam, you can't beat up on that woman for where she is.
Right.
Because at the end of the day, this is a partnership, and your spouse is a reflection of you just as much as you are a reflection of yourself. Is that a fair statement, Mom?
That's a fair statement. You did real good, because I'm talking dust buckets and all that.
Another thing, when it comes down to gender norms as well, should a man feel incompetent if he's not able to change a tire, do the oil change, if he's not, if he wasn't raised to do that whole yard work thing that would typically be prescribed to a man, but he can pay somebody else to do it? Should he feel away because he's not able to get down in the dirt and do it himself?
My dad taught me how to mow a yard. I learned how to mow the yard when I was in the 5th grade.
How to do a garden and all that.
I did all that. My dad taught me all that. So, right about now, I do not have to... Okay. I do not have to have a man in my life that do not know how to mow a yard. Guess what? I still know how to go out there and pull that lawn. I got 2 of them out there. Both of them runs. I got a weed eater. I got a blower. I got all that right about now. I still know how to crank up that lawnmower and can go down this yard with this lawnmower. And if you feel some type of way, that's on you. It is what it is. That's what I do. Now, if you want to hire somebody to come on my yard and all that, we can kind of talk about that, because I still like yard work. I still like being outside. I'm an outside person. So, again, I think that you chose him, and you already know that he's not a yard mowing guy, and that ain't what he want to do. It is fine if you want to hire somebody to come in and mow the yard, do the lawn work. It's okay with that. To me, it could be either or. But you shouldn't still, again, you still should not make that man feel less than a man. But if he get up on a certain morning and decide to get my car and take it or get my oil changed, I'm cool with that. He ain't got to know how to change no oil.
Yeah.
It's kind of different. It's so many things out here that can make life easy amongst the two of you. To me, it's petty to argue.
Yeah.
It's petty right about now.
Say that again.
It's petty to argue right about now, to me. It's too much. It's too much. It's so much to do. It's no reason to argue. Long as he get up that certain morning, I can roll on and blow my own hot breath in your face and say, "Look, I need my oil change today." And he said, "Okay, I'm finna get him, go get it done." I'm good with that.
All right.
So I'm just saying.
All right.
It's petty to argue. Life is too short. It's so much going on that there is no reason why can't we not just love each other and be okay.
Yeah.
Now, once the love gone, that's a different story. We'll have to come back to that one.
I want to kind of shift the conversation a little bit, because we also, as we were talking about what we wanted to cover in the whole gender norm thing, oftentimes when you're talking about marriage, right, and from the last conversation that I am Broderick's first sex partner. And so he was talking to you all about how his parents didn't raise him to keep himself because of Christian values or because of purity culture. It was more of a value thing. This is who I am. This is who you are. You're not just going to give yourself to...
And I'm not giving away King B.
Hey.
Huh? You just don't give away King B.
You've always said that.
Y'all shaking this little thing.
I'm sorry.
Okay. That's all right. We was rocking y'all up a little bit. We know we was shaking the table. It's okay. But I want to know. Well, I guess for me, I guess it's more of a question towards you.
Okay.
I'm kind of thinking through it as I'm saying it. How did it make you feel to be a man who came to marriage without having any previous sex partners, and being with me, somebody who I got a list behind me, I got an entourage following up behind me? How did that make you feel? Because most times we're taught the woman is supposed to be the pure one. Yeah. The woman is supposed to be a virgin, but it's okay for the man to have a whole bunch of
be a
partners. Right. So did that make you feel some type of way? What would you say to, other men who may be dealing with something like that?
So I think it was a duality of sorts, right? So on one end, I wasn't bothered by it. Hey, it is what it is at this point. Because I value myself, and I saw myself and still see myself as a king. So you should be honored to be with me. That was my mindset. I would never like come out and say that in the dating process, like, oh, you should be happy that you with me. But just within me, it's like I don't have to tilt my crown in order to be in a relationship with anybody. Like I don't have to do that. But when it came down to our first time having sex with each other, there was so much that was just involved in the heat of the moment, the passion that was there, the desire that was there, the love, the authentic love that was there outside of our physical bodies that was present, to where I wasn't concerned about, am I about to perform well in this moment? It wasn't about, my performance wasn't a part of my mindset in that moment.
Right.
Now, as we progressed in our sex life, there will be moments where I'm like, okay, she telling me this, but I mean, I ain't been with nobody, so I'm listening to Holy Spirit and I'm listening to her body.
I couldn't tell the man of God had not had sex with. I was like, are you
I'm
sure?
Listening to Holy Spirit.
Are you sure?
So I'm listening to Holy Spirit and I'm following His direction, because Holy Spirit will teach you all things, right? I just don't limit Holy Spirit to church and Christianity. No, I tap into Holy Spirit in all things, literally. So even in our moments of our sexual encounters and all of that stuff, like listening to Holy Spirit, but also feeling Channing's body in the process, and it brought me to a whole nother level of awareness, and just thinking about the conversations around sex that my parents had with me. My parents never told me to feel your partner. It was literally on the premise of, listen, if you have sex and the young girl get pregnant, you taking care of your child.
I sure did.
Period. But as far as like the nuances of pay attention to her body, make sure that she's taken care of. If you get yours, also make sure that she gets hers. It sent me down a whole nother spiral of how many husbands are showing up in the bedroom with their wife, and it's all about me getting mine, or it's me giving it to her by the information of pornography.
Right.
Because in my mind too, I watched porn. So I showed up in that moment trying to perform like a porn star. And it's like, wait. We'll tell you about it. We'll tell you about it. So,
what is in your DNA?
It's in my DNA. Shut up on whole side. And
for this we thank God.
and to y'all, I grew up in a home where I could talk to my parents about anything. Yeah. There was literally nothing about anything that I was going through, anything that was happening that was off guard to my parents. Period. So yeah. Now the other side of that coin, like I said, was even as we progressed in our sex life, I started hanging my hat up on, well, she's telling me, that it's amazing and it's great, and I'm paying attention to her body, and the body is saying that, but I don't know. So even for the men, sometimes we can talk ourselves out of loving our women or our partners in greater ways, because we're inside of our minds discrediting who we are. And even as I talk through that, I think to an extent, although I saw myself as a king, there was still parts of me that was insecure, and that insecurity was probably rooted in a level of low self-esteem in a specific area. Because again, here I am, I'm 30 and I'm just now getting married. I'm from the South. A Southern thing is once you in your mid-20s, you married, you got kids, and for my relatives or my cousins that did it the right way, they were married by the time they were in their 20s. So here it is. I'm in my 30s and I'm not married yet. Boy, what's wrong with you?
Well, I'm going to interject for a minute.
Okay.
As a little boy, I started writing him about having sex with everybody. And about the disease process, especially when I had became a nurse, because I knew where we were from. It was a lot of herpes in the neighborhood, and there was a lot of AIDS.
Weren't you like the director over the health department?
I worked at the health department at one point. And I was the target case manager.
There it is.
So I knew what was going on. So I was always in his ear. And I always had shared with him that I can't stop you from doing nothing, because I'm not around you 24/7. But if you got to, I can get you those condoms. Use those. But I really did honestly want him. I wanted him to wait until that point. By the time that I'm calling you, I can't do brother. I can call you.
You can call me Bubba. It's okay.
Okay. So
y'all can't call me Bubba.
Yeah, y'all
I will chop you in the throat.
Don't call him Bubba.
It's only me.
Broderick.
Go ahead.
So by the time that Bubba got saved and he really kind of started going into him on himself, I didn't have to say anything at that point because he already had a standard for himself,
right?
And that was what he was following for his own self. So then when he left to go to Morehouse, which was the hardest thing that I had ever done in my life, it was to let him come down here to Georgia by himself, and he really kind of just started blossoming. So I knew that he was going to be okay.
Yeah.
But there's something that you said, Shannon, that I want to kind of redirect you a little bit.
Okay.
This is my opinion.
Yes.
And I don't care what nobody else think about it.
Yes.
This is my opinion to you.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't matter to me how many men that you have slept with. Mm-hmm. I think you still was a virgin when you came into that because that was what it was that made you feel the way that you needed to be felt.
That's so
shut up, my son!
When he hooked up with you.
Shut up!
And
keep on talking.
One of the things that I was going to say to that, I'm glad you brought that up, was...
Come on, mama.
The sex that I had before then, it was... I never allowed myself to open my heart and my soul and my spirit up to anybody. And so when he came in, it was like, okay, I can finally mm-hmm. just allow him into this intimate space. Mm-hmm. Because before, it was just... I just want to have sex.
Yeah.
I just want to do what I want to do. Mm-hmm. And so when I came into this relationship, it was like, I know that this person actually cares about me. Mm-hmm. And it's not just about mm-hmm. what they can get from me and what they can get out of me. Mm-hmm. I feel like this man actually loves me. Yeah. And he's making love to me.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
So now you know what it's supposed to feel like.
And that's what we were talking about this morning.
Yeah. So now you know. Now you know exactly what it's supposed to feel like.
Because we said marriage sex
it ain't marriage sex. It ain't that.
To achieve the moment at the same time?
Yeah.
And this is a no... Wait. I'm telling too much.
I think you just did, but it's cool to everybody.
It's
Jesus.
So you know, don't tell the rest of it. Everybody got it.
He said, what is this?
That's it.
What is this? Because I never experienced anything like that.
Y'all just wait. There's some more stuff going to happen.
Oh my God!
Oh, yeah.
This is good.
Y'all young. Y'all got some years to go.
This is good.
Man.
Pretty much you telling us we don't know nothing about
y'all just get started.
Y'all don't know nothing. Y'all don't know nothing.
This was good.
This was good.
Do y'all have any final thoughts? Anything to share with the people?
Any last wisdom, Mom, about gender norms and marriages and relationships?
The only thing that I would tell anybody that's young, like mm-hmm. you two guys are, and just starting off into a relationship like that, all I'm saying is that if you done met this guy and you feeling this guy and this guy's feeling you, and the gender norm is different.
Men too.
This is for men too.
Men as well. Just don't beat that other one down.
Yes.
Flow with it. It's good. It's good because if you're the one that love to cook, that's what you love to do. Right. Do that. If she's the one that makes the money, trust me, that's what she love to do. I love to go to work. Mm-hmm. So if you love to make that money and doing what you do, just let it flow. Do not go to arguing mm-hmm. about nothing that's petty.
Yep.
It's life is too short. Just sit back and enjoy life and just grow old together.
And that's essentially what we said we wanted this video to be. Do what works best for your relationship.
Do what works best for your relationship.
Don't look to nobody else's relationship. Mm-mm. Y'all sit down together as a couple, as a team, as partners, and say, this is what's going to work in our relationship. I don't care what the Jones is doing. I don't care what the Miller's doing. I don't care what the McBrides are doing.
Yes.
This is what we're doing. And as long as it's healthy, fam, it's healthy. Rock it out.
Yeah.
Go with it. Yeah. And
absolutely.
when we celebrate love. We celebrate black love. And until next time, bye.
Thanks, Mama.
Bye.
Look at